Mid-70s Boston lay sharply divided by race, class, and mobility. Divisions on full display in its schools. The courts order a percentage of African-American students to be bused to predominantly white schools and vice versa. The goal, desegregation and equity. The experience, too often, a longer bus ride to an equally inadequate school rife with hostility and anxiety.
Up to 10,000 of Boston public school children will take part of a forcible busing program. This plan will cause chaos and disorder in the city.
We're moving kids around because they're black and because they're white, and it has nothing to do with whether they're getting a good education where they are. I will send them, but I don't have to like it.
Almost a decade before the fallout from mandatory busing, activists organized their own voluntary busing program. The Metropolitan Council for Educational Opportunity, or METCO, brought urban students to better resourced suburban schools. Today, METCO serves several thousand students. Most achieve enviable academic success. But not all METCO students fare equally well with the shifting demands from shuttling between two highly segregated worlds.
Check. You got alarm clock ringing, no birds singing, just a bunch of new complaints from old man Jenkins. Now you waiting on the bus, lights bright as a flashlight, trying to complete homework. You ain't finished from last night, money tight. Little sis gon' get the last bite. Breakfast, now we eat leftovers from last night, but this is every day. Living in the minority, your parents still tell you education is priority, but that's where they got us. Tell us go to college, tell us be scholars. Only Christopher we acknowledge is why us understand. Wasn't raised in the suburbs, came from where the love hurts. Old heads still trying to hit the numbers, still blessed though. Took us out the hood straight to METCO, but everything changed when we get home.
3 generations of METCO participants reflect on their highs and lows, then and now. The politics of technology, sports, gender, and personal identity are in constant flux. What remains is the constant pressure on students to adjust, to modulate, or code switch. Ron Settles played sports, pumped gas, and got along with most everyone. Through METCO, his brother attended schools in Lexington, so he did too. After college, Ron moves back to Boston. He eventually settles in South Carolina. On a visit to Academy Homes in Roxbury, Ron remembers catching the METCO bus.
By the time we lived here, our bus stop used to be on this corner right here. And the cross street is Center Street. How did I not remember that? Center Street. Tremont is center, but we would have to walk through these projects since we lived back up in the middle, cutting through this little alley by the store, and sometimes you might see people with needles in their arm. But after a while, it just became like kind of mundane, because after you get over the fact that they're not really trying to bother you, you walk on by them, you get kind of numb to it a little bit. And you leave people with a needle in their arm at 5 o'clock in the morning, ride the rest of the way to the bus out to Lexington, and you're in school with a bunch of white kids and white teachers. Ah, what's up, baby?
Long time.
Yo, man.
Long time.
Damn, man. What's up?
30 years?
30 years, give or take. 25 minimum.
Whew. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man.
I ain't seen you in a long time, man.
What about the sports, man? What have you been doing?
I still love sports. I like to think about sports.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still a sportsaholic.
You had a mean jump, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, I got a little hoop. I shoot jumpers.
But you all over the field, though. You all over the court. I remember them days.
I've been Spider since middle school. They called me Spider because seemed like I was into everything. I knew this group of kids. I knew this group of kids. I was listening to AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, and like the different. I mean, it sounds funny, but I'm not gonna say the different classes of white people in Lexington, but the different groups. And some of them didn't mingle. Like, this is a bookworm, or he's a jock, or he likes heavy metal and acid rock. But I actually could get along with somebody, a few in each one of those crews.